What's going on, guys? Thomas McIntosh with Macintosh Trading, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. Today we're just going to kind of go over how you can scalp stocks and how I stay green throughout the day, even with like say a swing is red or like something I'm even trying to day trade might be red, but I just kind of stay green by scalping stocks, even if it's just a few pennies. But yeah, let's get into it. First up, we're just going to talk about BLU today. Now, if you look on the chart, it actually opened right here. I believe it opened pretty low at 615. Let's refresh here. So it opened at 612 and then instantly mooned. And the reason I was watching this one in pre-market was because it was getting a few hits. It was actually up 5%. So yesterday it closed at $6 even. And then today I woke up and it was already near 635. Now if you go back and look at the daily chart, you can see there's resistance on this candle right here at 634. So then if you go back into today, you can see right here there's resistance at 635, and it tested a couple times. It actually broke it, but there's obviously not too much volume in pre-market, so it didn't break it, and then it actually dumped here right before open, which I thought was interesting. But I had taken some shares here just to try to scalp, but most of my shares I ended up actually chasing a little bit up here after it broke out. But if you scroll out here and look, as soon as it had this big volume candle, it broke through 635, and that would be your buy signal here to scalp this one. And then it broke up, and then it went to 687. I actually thought this was headed higher, and I actually am swinging this one. I think that it's going to go to 750 to 8 here soon. It's got two catalysts in December. It just had good news today, which is another reason it broke out. So there's plenty of reason for people to be buying this one. So this one was a pretty easy scalp, and then I'm still holding some for tomorrow and the catalyst in December because I think it will run a little bit more. It should see probably 10 by December, I would say. But I'm just looking to capture like a $1 to $2 move. But this one is just an easy one. If you just go back and look at the resistance here, it's clearly flagging. The ADMA has caught up here, and this one's ready to break out. So realistically, you could just buy any dip here and expect that it's going to move because, like I said, it had news today as well. It rose after completing enrollment for clinical trials, which gives buyers another reason to buy here, so it just pushed it up even more. And I'm actually really surprised it didn't hold up gains better, but you definitely could have scalped this one today and made money. Next up, we're just going to talk about QS, and this is one that I actually alerted to the Discord yesterday, but we ended up stopping out on it. It was just a complete and total weak day, but I actually told them that this one might not be a bad one to add back the next day, so I said make sure to keep it on watch because if 25 breaks, this thing's going to rip. So just watch out for call activity, watch out for volume in the morning, and that's kind of exactly what happened. It was near the top of my watch list as well if you guys pay attention to that, so it would have been an easy one to play. So if you go back and look, 2 days ago it had some news about another potential deal with a big company that wants their batteries, and this company is Ford, I believe, and so it had this big volume pop, 44 million volume, and on this day it popped over the 50 EMA and over this super trend, so that's just a super good sign of strength. And this is also a SPAC, a special acquisition corporation, and if you go back and look at Lucid, this one had a similar pop out of the lows. They all have pretty similar charts because they've been just selling off for months. They used to be really hot in January and February, and then they just kind of all started to sell off. But Lucid recently popped on some news. It was weak news. It was like that their vehicles have 500 plus charging range or driving range before you need to charge, which is good news, yeah, for the long term maybe, but for the short term it really doesn't mean much because there's no cars coming for like 2 years at least. So realistically, it had no reason to really pop that much. But anyways, QS, another SPAC, and this one has a super low float. I guess it's 212 million, but it really trades like it has much lower. So if you just want to draw resistance lines, you can see that it clearly had resistance right here at 25, and that's obviously like a psychological level as well. So although the resistance was technically 24.75, like realistically you'd have resistance at 25 just because of that psychological level, and that's where like the walls get put up. So Right away in the morning, it just instantly started off with a pop with 600,000 volume and then 500,000. So right away, you know to just automatically be watching this one because it just showed that strength right away. And then also, I use flow algo for my options flow, but I also use unusual whales. And right away in the morning, there was just a ton of flow here on the flow algo. There's just tons of call flow coming in. There was some big orders, like over 500 grand put into like $30 calls for Friday, I believe. So realistically, this can still jump tomorrow. It didn't close very well, but I do think it is going to be a multi-day runner. But this one was just a super clean break. 24.50 right here. Once this candle broke, you're pretty set, and then it had a small dip, but then it just absolutely ripped. And then right here, it tested 25. And then if you even waited just to buy the confirmation of the $25 break, you could have just made money on that scalp right here at 25.70. And then if you want to continue holding some for a further move, you could have, and then could have held for this move if you really wanted to. But this one was just a really easy one to scalp. You just have to be confident in knowing like why this play is moving, and then also use options flow to confirm that a stock is going to move the way you think it is. So this had relative strength in the morning mixed with that options activity. There was tons of options flow right away in the morning that caused this pop, and then obviously the volume is key as well. If you go back and look at the daily, it had almost as much volume this day that it had today. So this move was really good, and the next resistance really isn't until like 30, so this one will be interesting to watch tomorrow as well. Next up, we just have AFRM, and this one has been kind of a bust for me. I didn't trade it today, and I really wish I would have. I haven't really traded it at all. I took quite a big loss one of these days on it, but obviously I think I've noticed or mentioned it on a different video, the $100 break, which was a key resistance here, and then it actually broke out here. But today, I just want to show you guys another potential breakout. This is just going to be a quick example. You could have bought this breakout right here, 126.50. It actually tested it midday here. It tested 126.50. It tested it right here, 126.34, and then it dipped right to the 8 EMA. And then as soon as this line crossed, you buy, and bam, you already are up $3 a share within one candle. So it's just super easy to make money. Obviously, you don't want to go super heavy in something like this, but the volume was clearly confirming this move, so it was kind of an easy one to play. And this one will be a top watch for continuation tomorrow because there's no resistance here. Over 130, there's really no resistance until I'd say 138, and then obviously 147, but we're going to say 150 just because that psychological level to watch for. So there's a lot of rumors on this one about potential Walmart partnership. I wouldn't exactly trust those, but you never know. Stocks will move off of rumors all the time. So these are just 3 examples of stocks that you could have scalped today and made money on, and that's kind of how I stay green. Say like a swing is red, or I'm day trading something and I'm currently red in it, but I want to make money elsewhere. This is how I keep my account green, just quick scalps on breakout points like that. And obviously not all of them work, but you have to make sure that the options flow is obviously following what you're trying to do. The same thing with the AFRM pop here. The options flow was just going crazy today, especially right towards close. On these pops right here, there was just tons of options flow coming in saying that this one was headed higher, and that's exactly what happened. It's probably about to break 129 here in after hours too. There's not a ton of volume, but just something to keep an eye on. BLU actually had some call sweeps this morning for this pop, and then obviously QS was the big one with huge call activity here. So it just confirms your move, and if a stock ever has positive news in pre-market but doesn't seem to be moving like a ton, you can generally count on it to break those resistance points in the middle of the day once the market actually opens and full liquidity is going into a stock. But that's all I have for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and just retweet it on Twitter. I will leave a link down below if you guys want to join our Discord for a 15% off your first month or your first year. I'll post a code down there for you guys, but I'll see you next time.